Welcome, everybody. Gosh, we have so many regulars that join us every week. And so we want to welcome you guys. And we also want to welcome our new friends and guests today. You can see we're going to start having people joining us. I've got Mike and Rachel Novak, who we're going to bring on shortly, who are just an incredible team out of our Everett office. We're going to have Jason Munoz from our Olympia office come on and show us what him and his team do for script practice. And then one of my absolute faves, Mark Johnson, is on here, and we're going to get a little bit of his amazing life story. He's been incredibly successful in his new construction real estate career. We're going to talk to him about that. And most importantly, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to play favorites. I'm going to spotlight this kiddo right here. This is a very special guest. You're all spotlighted, Aiden.
I am. Feels cool.
It feels cool. This is my son, Aiden Williams. Aiden, say hi. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Aiden. I'm 16, going to high school right now at Eastside Catholic, which is a school in Sammamish. It's a pretty good school. I do cross country and track, so I'm a runner, and really just fascinated and interested in business, investing, real estate, all of that. And I'm excited to be here and just listen to all of you talk and maybe contribute myself, but just to learn.
Yeah, that's awesome. And when did you find out you were going to be on this?
Like 10 minutes ago.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Now he just said a $25,000 a year school was an okay school.
Yeah.
I would do slightly better than that, or I will send you to public school in a minute.
Very, very good school. Very good school.
Yeah, it's a really good school. If you're into sports, it's an amazing school.
Very grateful for it, yeah.
Aiden, before we get started on why I pulled you on here today, how are you liking Ben Kinney's wealth building class? We're taking it together, the Win, Make, Give class, right?
Yeah, it's honestly, it's been pretty cool. Like, I feel like I've learned a lot already. Podcasts are fun. Like, they're fun. It's the word I might use to describe them. Like, I'm staying focused on everything, and more importantly than that, though, I'm learning, just kind of about what people do that make mistakes and how to avoid that and how to just build wealth, and honestly just what wealth is, which I think can help me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So Aiden, I think you need to share with everybody for them to understand the context of me pulling you on. What is the big debate going on in the Williams household pertaining to you going to college?
All right. Yeah. So basically, I'm open to everything, but I'm very interested in potentially not pursuing a full 4-year college career or just going anyway. I just,
It's crushing his mom's soul, but he's got to, he's really,
When you said that, I thought I said the wrong thing, and I'm like, crap, but no, yeah. And so
that's the right, wrong thing.
Yeah, but yeah.
So here's the deal. So you've been full court press on your dad and I for quite a few months. So what was the solution? One of the solutions I came up with as we worked through this together.
Yeah. So one of the solutions we kind of came up with was basically this idea of a book group type thing. And basically the idea of that is because I think you want to see from me accountability and my ability to kind of show that I can work hard at something, even when it's not easy or it's not fun, and I can just grind and do it. Because I think I need to prove that to you, but to myself as well, because I haven't really done that much in my life yet. So kind of, I don't know if you want me to give that much details, but basically it's it's like a book a month, and read it and then write a book report and stuff. And then when we're done with that, I write a book report and then we talk about it. And I think you just want to see from me that, I'm grinding, that I'm, able to learn from this, of course, but that I can just do something that maybe isn't that fun, but I have to do it. And kind of showing accountability, because you made a point that you weren't really going to run this. It was going to be on me. And so I'm the one that needs to come to you and say, are you ready to meet and stuff? And so that's kind of what I need to learn and stuff. And I think that's, I think one of the big tests you've given me in my life, and I'm excited for it. Yeah.
And also, I talked about, I need to see you take what you're learning and execute it, right?
Absolutely.
And, take it and use it real world. And what your ability is to learn from, audible and visual, right? We're going to read some, we're going to do some audibles. All right. So we came up with a format, which it was 20 books in 20 months, which is going to take us right to, not coincidentally, December of your senior year, which is when all your college applications are due.
Yes.
So when I called you, whenever I call any of you people, if any of you ever get a text or a phone call from me, especially if your name is Ben, and it says, I have an idea, you should be a little scared. So I called Aiden and I said, I have an idea. What would you be interested in opening our book club up to other business leaders and their, high school kids? And maybe we can do this. We could do a Zoom once a month and, do it together. What did you say to that, Aiden?
I thought it was a pretty cool idea. I mean, yeah, it's really simple, but yeah, I think it's, yeah.
Okay. So we've got a whole list of books curated, and we'll share those. We'll put it on. Jen Lampy said, "Can we participate if we don't have high school kids?" Yes, very much so. But I really do want to also encourage those of us that have high school, maybe even college kids, to do this. And the first book, Aiden, that's actually due this weekend is what?
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Rich Dad Poor Dad. We're both kind of in the middle of that. The next month I'll just give you a couple, but we'll post them all. Millionaire Real Estate Agents next month. And Aiden actually pushed really hard for that book. And then we've got 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Think and Grow Rich, Extreme Ownership, Brian Tracy's Goals, The One Thing, Good Leaders Aspect. It goes on. And it culminates in a book called The Defining Decade, which is Gary Keller gave to a bunch of us that is really how to do your 20s right to set you up for success. And that was not coincidental because that was going to culminate in Aiden's sort of like college application process.
Yes.
So you're ready to do that with your mama for the next couple of years?
I'm actually pretty excited about it. Yeah, I'm definitely ready to do it.
All right. So we'll get details together, and by we I mean Hattie. Hattie and I are together, going to get details together and everything. But I just think this is a great way to keep us accountable, and also if we're going to do the work, Aiden, to just leverage it and try to help others and bring them alongside our journey, right?
Yeah. No, that's a great point. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Dude. So excited that you got to do this with Mom today, and I'll see you.
Thank you.
All right, love you, honey. Bye.
All right, bye.
That was fun. It was a little fun for me. Hey, really quick, thanks for letting me do that, guys. That meant a lot, and I'm really excited. So we'll roll that out, and the more of you who can join us, the better. I think it'd be great. Really quick, before we get to Mike and Rachel Novak, as you guys know, I have been working on one of the most rewarding and fun projects so far in my career, and it's a podcast, and it's called Empire Building Podcast. And if you would all do me the kindness of taking a moment right now to just click on that link. Hattie's going to put the link in Zoom and on Facebook Live. And if you wouldn't mind just clicking the link and subscribing and just hitting the 5 stars and maybe even taking the time to give a review. It actually doesn't launch until Monday, but we released a trailer, and by releasing a trailer, people can start subscribing. And we are really excited about it because the first couple weeks is like the most important in a podcast to get a whole bunch of subscriptions, apparently. So you are my people. Like, I want you guys to listen to it and be part of it. So that would mean a lot to me. The other thing I just wanted to briefly go over is really good news from China. So as you guys know, I've been monitoring China because first in, first out theory, meaning the market that's the first into any type of a crisis, you hope, is the first out. The second market I've been tracking is King County, not just because I live in King County, because that's the first market in the US. Look at this beautiful chart in front of you of the China recovery. It is literally the V shape we have all been hoping and praying for. So here's the deal. It is almost at pre-COVID levels. It's almost at pre-COVID levels. And I mean, I couldn't be more thrilled. It literally, and the thing is, their economy was not as healthy as ours going into this as well. So I am thrilled that, God, if this is any type of a precursor for us, then all power to us. It's very promising to me. The second one I wanted to show you is King County. It's interesting because when I looked at May this year versus May last year, and we're not quite through May, but we looked at the 1st through the 25th. The big problem with King County is that we're down in new listings. And so that is choking our inventory, and that's actually bringing our unit counts down, right? So what's happening is we're down 36% in new list in all inventory because we're down 36% in new listings, right? That's how this works. So we're down 44% sold and we're down 12% pended, but being down 36% in inventory and being down 12% pended is great. That's great. That means we're gobbling up all of our inventory because we should be down 36% pended, right? So this is really, really promising for our recovery as well. I kind of changed my tune a few weeks ago. I've been saying V-shaped recovery forever, V. Okay, admittedly, I may have switched a little bit to a W. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen in the future. I have a feeling we might go through another type of quarantine again in the winter when flu season really hits before the vaccination. So I think it could be like V, but hey, it's so far, it's looking really, really good. And it was too good for me to not show you guys. All right, let's get the Novaks on. Mike and Rachel Novaks, I'm so excited you're here. I've really gotten to know you the last year or so. And why don't you guys tell us a little bit about your team based in Everett, Washington?
Sure. So we're husband-wife team, been in real estate now for about 3 years. Known Ben for about 13 years or so. So it was kind of like a natural place for us to go when we got our real estate licenses. Started out as a small team, just Rachel and I, and then we slowly started building a team. We actually got up to a fairly large team last year, all the way up to 18 agents before kind of like paring back a little bit. And we have 6 agents on our team now, and we're actually hitting higher production levels with 6 agents than we were with 18 agents. So we're a small team here in Snohomish County, is kind of our backyard market. We do a little bit of King County as well, but we're just a really, really tight, close grip, group of agents and support team as well. There's 10 of us on our team, and we sold about 200 houses last year, and on track for about the same this year. Anything you want to add, Rach?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Rachel, we're going like you're not off the hook. Like I'm asking you questions. But let me just say this to all of you guys watching from around the States. 200 units in our market is a lot of units. I know that sometimes we hear from agents who do 500, 1,000 units, in Texas and some of the southern states. Doing 200 units is really, that makes them probably top 5 teams in our entire state. I don't know. But I'm guessing it's really high up there, guys. Rachel Novak, my friend, besides having, being this, kick-ass lady boss, you're a mama.
I am.
You're a mama, and you're in shape, mama.
I'm trying. Because this quarantine is, I think, kicking everybody's butt, but not the right way, right?
Yeah, how old are your kids?
So we have an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 4.5-year-old who thinks she's 30. And we actually are currently, along with all of this craziness, we're also building a house right now. So we're living in an RV full time. So I do a combination of work from home, which is the RV 3 days a week. Of course, I'm still meeting clients selectively. And we just kind of started dabbling, going into the office very lightly 2 days a week. So we've been keeping as consistent as we possibly can.
That's incredible. Yeah. I actually love that we can hear your kids, because I think that just makes it so real. Like you are living what we're all living, like, shh, the whole.
And I'm mute. Shh. I'm bribing them with popsicles currently. This is the level we need to use right now. Yes.
Like every woman watching this needs to hear you say that. You know, everyone here needs to hear your kids, and they need to know that you're bribing them with, you know.
Yes. They head outside and they're arguing with each other with popsicles.
Aiden, who was just on the other day, he goes, "Hey, Mom, FYI, I wanted to let you know that iPad's raising Zoe." Like, oh, okay.
There's literally no guilt, no shame, no guilt right now. That's kind of the beauty of this time. I think there's so much grace that everybody's been having with each other through just like, we're kind of all in survival mode, you know, like especially through this time. So I get it, like iPads, Chromebooks, you know, and then I've taught my kids that vitamin D is actually a necessary part of homeschool. And the only way to get it is to be outside. And so my son told me that his school today is going to be vitamin D filled. So he's been outside basically all day because that's his homework for today.
That's way better than the iPad, Rachel. Way better.
I mean, but the youngest is on the iPad. Like it's balanced, right? Whatever you can do. Yeah.
I think what's cool about watching you, and you know, we'll get to Mike on some business tips, but I think what's cool about watching you, Rachel, is like you're still working out hard. Like you do CrossFit, like you're like a hard worker outer, and you're momming hard and you're working hard. Like, how do you do it? What's your secret?
It's honestly, you know, and I have to give my husband a lot of credit because he's helped me a ton with, you know, the compartmentalization mindset. Us as women can handle a lot. We can handle a lot of capacity. We can be very, very productive in a single day. And we don't even, like, we try, of course, but it for us, especially people who are moms, we're used to going from like thing to thing to thing to conversation to phone call and back to the kids and then back over to this and back on the phone. And it's possible to do. So I think it really is just staying really, really organized with prioritizing your day, making sure that you know at the end of each day what's going on the next day and making your list and then being really on top of it, checking it multiple times a day so things don't fall through the cracks. You know, we've kept very, very busy through this time. You know, our team has sold over 100 homes year to date, pending and closed.
Wow. And
through just this month, we've lined up June so far to have over 30 closings, just on our team. So none of us have slowed down during this time at all. In fact, we really believed, and we kind of rallied in the beginning of the quarantine situation that like, we need to actually put the foot on the gas pedal a little bit. And it's literally just taking it one day at a time. Some days it's kid heavy and I can spend more time with them. Some days the iPad raises them. Some days it's movies all day long, and other days we get to go have fun and play around in the woods. It's a lot of leaning on your teammates and leaning on people in your life and being able to share the burden, so to speak. I've been on multiple mom dates where we literally just meet up in a parking lot and pitch our camping chairs, you know, 4 to 6 feet away from each other in the beginning, and just, you know, drink a Truly in the parking lot for an hour just to kind of get that time that you need.
So good.
In between appointments and in between kids. And then we kind of take turns where I'll drop my kids off somewhere now for an hour or two, and I'll take kids for an hour or two. So it's really just being able to like be humble enough to ask for help when you need it. Honestly, that truly is like a secret to, I think, high producers, top producers. Either be able to hire the people that you need in your life to help you accomplish what you need to accomplish, or don't be so proud that you won't ask for help because it's necessary to do. And I've had to learn that the hard way many times.
So good, Rachel. So good. Thank you so much for sharing. There's a lot of women here who I bet are commenting. We just can't see the comments, who are really resonating with that, right? I mean, you have 3 kids, you're staying in shape, you're running this business, you're living in an RV, which, you know, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're going to kiss the floor when you finish your house. You're going to like walk in the house and kiss the floor.
I told Mike, I'm not leaving that house for a month when it's done. Like, I'm not leaving.
No, we all said that, Rachel, until quarantine. I'm not so sure that's true.
Touche.
I think it's super important though to recognize the moms. Like, moms got thrust into, like Rachel, basically a homeschool teacher, you know, about 2 months ago now. And most people that are on this call are probably like Rachel and super busy and didn't even contemplate this as a potential reality 2 months ago. And everyone has really risen to the challenge to find some way to balance and juggle all of these things at the same time. I think it's more juggling than it is balancing. And I know that the women on our team, I mean, there's 3 moms on our team and a grandma, and they have all really risen to the challenge. And I think it's just super important to recognize them for doing that and doing an incredible job at it too. Like, I don't know how they do it. Like, a lot of the guys in our team, we've been able to almost stay the course with our schedules and stuff, but the moms have really stepped up big time. It's been awesome to watch.
Yeah, well said, Mike. So Mike, speaking of that, I would love to know what's working for you guys right now. You're really crushing it. You and I have been in pretty good communication throughout this whole thing. What are, 1 or 2 things that have really worked well for you lately that you can share and teach everybody?
The first thing I think that has really clicked for us this year has been to figure out our identity and really take ownership of that identity. Like I said, we tried to go to like a large team, and for us, it just wasn't the right way to go. There's a lot of media and sexiness about being out of production, and I was out of production for like 14 months and was miserable. Our profits weren't where we wanted them to be. It just wasn't that much fun. And so we pared back the amount of agents on our team to a level that we were really happy with, to people that we really enjoyed spending time with. And we just kind of took ownership that a lot of people aren't going to be the right fit for our team. So we just got really comfortable with our identity and kind of just, really leaned into people that aligned with our values and that were a good match for us with our team. So that's really the first thing. We've built a very small sandbox. We have extremely high production expectations for the agents on our team, and we expect them to use the leverage from our admin team to help them achieve that high production and the tools that we give them as well, so that they're able to stay in their lane and just keep selling. So we only have 6 agents, but they're people that I would go to war with tomorrow. Like, these are people that have got your back. They operate at the same level every single day. There's no babysitting. I always tell people, like, I will lead you all day long, but when I have to manage you, or if I have to babysit you, I have no interest in working with you. And that was a realization for me as a leader, and then making sure that we had built a team that was reflective of that. So that was the first thing, is to get super comfortable with our own identity, realize who we're not for and who we are for on our team. The second thing has just been staying disciplined and keeping our eye on the ball with our habits. We have done a pretty good job at, doing daily huddles still on Zoom with the whole team, on still getting a fair amount of calls in, on hitting our appointment benchmarks. So we're really watching our leading indicators. Even if we're pending homes, I always want to be kind of keeping my eye on where we're at in the next 3 to 4 months. So I'm looking at how many appointments are we setting today and this week and this month as well versus our target. And our team's been able to maintain our appointment targets. There was about 2 weeks, and I think I shared this with you, Via, when it was happening, where we fell off a cliff. Like, we normally set about 22 appointments a week, like with new clients, and we went down to like 3, and it was scary. But we just kept saying, let's just keep doing it, keep calling people. These are kind of awkward phone calls because we're just really scared at first. And then things kind of opened up, and people realized that, hey, there's still going to be death, there's still going to be divorce, there's still going to be job relocations. Like, a lot of people still need to move, and just reaching out to them, letting them know that you're still there, not going quiet on them, is super important to rise to that challenge as an agent. So that's been really important for us, is just managing our numbers, making sure we're hitting our leading indicators so that we don't end up with a bad Q2 or Q3 after a strong Q1. So those are really the 2 big things, Via.
I love that. And what I know about you is you're really good about tracking your numbers. I've seen your dashboard, and from a fellow number tracker lover, like, your dashboard got me super excited. Like, I was like, oh, it was amazing.
It's his baby.
Well, and I feel that, like, mine's my baby. So I resonate with that. One last question. We're going to pop over to Jason, because last time you were on, Mike, you were probably a top 3 of doing these webinars of like responses that I got. Everybody loved your scripts. They loved them. Do you have any like tidbits for us? Any really good scripts that have been working lately that you can share that come to your head?
We don't really script per se. Like, we just call people, and we just try to have a human conversation with them. A lot of the just kind of conversations we're having right now, when people are saying, like, we still are encountering, I'd say 20 to 25% of the time, people that say, I'm waiting to see what happens. And when people are saying, I'm waiting to see what happens, we try to dive a little bit deeper to see what was their plan before all of this craziness started. And what are your plans when all of it passes? Because we know eventually this is going to pass. And are you still going to want to make a move when this does pass over? And just kind of get people thinking about that and what was their original reason for wanting to make a move. Because oftentimes that reason is still there. So just kind of getting to a human connection level by asking that question is really working well for us right now. And I think a lot of us, we have this mindset that people aren't moving right now. And if that's your mindset when you pick up the phone, that's going to be the result that you get when you call people. Mm-hmm. You need to believe that people need your help right now more than ever, and that there's still people out there making a move. And we know for a fact they are. So if that's your mindset and you pick up the phone with that intent, you're going to get that result.
That's right. You know what it reminds me of too? It reminds me of Sarah Reynolds taught us something early on in this that I thought was brilliant. She had her ISA team really early on, whenever they were in conversations with people and somebody said, I would normally set an appointment with you, or I would normally continue this conversation with you, but because of COVID, I'm not going to do it. They would tag them COVID. And when they started sensing that the market was turning around again, they pulled all of their COVID tags in their CRM and they just started hitting them again. And they have just been, she was on the Pivot Shift Ahead page, and they have been doing record appointments. They're like literally going to have record sales because they kept track of all the people that, you know, where COVID was their initial hesitation, and they're just hitting them hard right now. Super smart.
Right. And like Rachel said, when we, you know, we're not done with May yet, and our team has broken every sales record we have in May. Units, volume, listings, appointments, like every benchmark is being broken right now. So there are people out there making moves.
Yeah, it's great. That's great. Well, thank you guys. Hopefully we can have you on a little longer one of these days. We appreciate it. I know you guys are super busy and you squeezed us in, so we appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, Via.
Jace, of course, my pleasure. Jason Munoz, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for being here with us. So you're in our Olympia, Washington office, which is the capital of our state. Tell us a little bit about your team and your business.
Oh, well, let's see. We're running a team here at the office. We've got 8. Well, all of us are actually producing. So my assistant, I'm lucky enough that she's licensed. She was in top 20% for the market center last year. So she's producing. And then I've got 8 other people on the team that are producing. So we're running a team of 10. Last year was a good year. It was better than the previous year. We didn't hit our goal, but this year, you know, we're on pace to do everything that we wanted to do for the most part, and we haven't taken our foot off the gas, you know, with this whole COVID thing, and we're pushing right along. We've tried to keep everything as normal as possible, you know, without actually being physically in the office. So from the beginning, you know, we've tried to do that.
So how many team members do you have?
Right now we're at 10. Okay. So, and everybody on the team, they work with buyers and sellers. So,
okay. So is that 10 agents? How many admin do you have?
Are we counting virtual? So sure. we have 1 admin here in the office, and then we have two VAs that are helping us, supporting us either through outbound calling or transaction management.
Okay, got it. All right. So one of the things I wanted to have you on is you do this really, really cool script practice, and I think you call it Bump. Is that right?
Yeah, we call it Bump. Okay. I don't know if I got it to you in time. I sent you a video.
Hattie just posted it. She just posted the video. So
I think I might have the actual share link here.
I think she just posted it. Yeah. Right. Oh, perfect. Okay.
So, you know, it's interesting. It's hard to explain it, but that's why we made the video. But we practice it. We take a script and we decide which script we're going to work on. So whether it's an invite to a buyer consult script or overcoming some sort of objection, and a lot of the scripts we do are very can be very basic, but it's having that, you know, that weapon in your back pocket so that you're ready to say that as soon as it's time to pull it out. And so what Bump does is we basically stand in one room in a circle and we start the script practice. And one person starts, and if they hesitate on the script at all for any reason, or they forget a word, or they start just saying the wrong thing, then they get bumped. And so as soon as they get bumped, it goes right to the next person. And the next person has to pick up exactly where the other person had messed up or dropped off. And so if they can't pick up right away, they get bumped too. So we go all the way around the circle until the entire script is finished successfully. And we'll do that days, weeks, until we can tell that the entire team has mastered the script, that we're actually getting through the entire script without anyone being bumped. And so when you have a room full of very competitive people, that can get very interesting and very fun. And the bumping is at the bumper's discretion. So even if you're doing really well, you can get bumped. And if you think that you took 1 or 2 second hesitation and the previous guy got 4 seconds, doesn't matter. It's completely at the bumper's discretion. So it makes it very random. It makes it very fun. It makes it very competitive. And as long as you keep the scripts fresh, we found that everyone engages really well with it. If you keep doing the same script for too long, people do tend to get bored, but it's a different way of doing it and adds some competitiveness and fun to how we do our scripts.
Well, and you know what else it does, Jason? What I like about it is it also has them practice listening, right? Which is a really important component of sales. And I think it's an under-trained component of sales. It's actually hard to be a really, really good listener. And I talk to my team leader team about it all the time. Like, we practice listening because it's so hard. And so bump kind of makes you, it's just really smart. It kind of makes you do both.
Yeah, it does. Everyone's listening, and they're picking up where someone left off, and it gets the whole group involved. Normally you do a traditional, script practice, and everyone breaks up and they go to their own, pairs, and they script together and they go back and forth. But this keeps the entire group involved. And like I said, it really is fun. You get to laugh at people. People get nervous and they say silly things, and it makes it really engaging. If you check out the video, see what I mean. We were having so much fun doing it, we decided to make a video just because it is fun to watch.
Well, thanks for doing that. I know that Hattie posted the video on our Zoom and on our Facebook. And so we appreciate you, Jason, and we'll definitely have you back for more. I want to move into my interview with Mark, but interesting, before we go into my interview, you guys know each other. You guys know each other.
What are you talking about?
Is that what happened? So tell us the story, Mark.
He either saw how easy I made it look or how bad I was at it and decided to be a real estate agent.
I remember you talking me out of being a real estate agent.
Yeah, I don't drink, and so I don't know how else to cope with this job. It's not a thing that works real well. But no, Jason I sold him his first condo, 15 years ago, probably?
2005, overpaid.
2005, and then your next house after that, when?
2010.
Yeah, and so we go way back. And then he, when he started his career in real estate, he started sitting site for me in a plat that I had in Olympia. And right off the bat, he was a great site agent and did really, really well. And obviously, look at him; he's just killing it. So pretty good to see.
My first year in the business wouldn't have been what it was without some of the help that Mark gave me. So it was good. It was great.
That's awesome. And I'm sure some laughs, because I think Mark Johnson is maybe one of the funniest guys in real estate. He's at least top 5. Yeah, pretty funny.
I want to set high expectations.
Right. Well, if you guys have any buyers or sellers in Olympia, Washington, send them to Jason. By the way, I should have said that if you have any for Everett, Washington, Mike and Rachel are there for you. We appreciate you, Jason, and we'll have you back for sure. Thanks for all you do for us.
Thanks, Via. See you, Mark.
Love you, buddy.
All right.
I'll be back.
So Mark Johnson, I've been wanting to do this interview for how long? For a long time.
Oh, wow. I tend to put people off.
Yeah, but I am persistent. Yeah. Ben Kinney calls me absolutely relentless. And I'm like, well, that's why you hired me. So there you go.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So here you are. So I know about your business, but I'm hoping you can kind of share with everyone about your business, because you have a unique niche.
Yeah. So the large bulk of my business is new construction, plats, communities, and then I try to dabble in some luxury too, and so that's kind of my two wheelhouses. And so that's I definitely do resale. I don't turn away anything. This is real estate. You don't turn away anything as long as you understand what you're doing. I don't do commercial or anything, but residential will do anything. But new construction is what pays the bills, and the luxury stuff funds the retirement. So it's kind of how we split up the money, and it's a good gig. Yeah, I've been doing it a long time. So
that's
got into real estate when I was 19.
Oh, I need to. Sorry, I just realized I had it spotlighted on the wrong person. Let me spotlight it on you. That's great. I like the way you separate them out like that. So do you really earmark your funds like that? You really take all your luxury and it goes to your retirement? Like you split it up that way, or are you just being hypothetical?
Yeah, those are just not rational paychecks. They're not real. They're abnormally large paychecks. So why pretend like they're part of my regular budget? And we just slide them into our retirement accounts. And
so smart.
Make it go away. So yeah, I treat that money completely separate. It's just kind of a fun thing to do.
It's so smart, I think. So one of the things, and I do want to talk about your business. There's a lot of people here listening from all over the country who work with builders and who do new construction. And as you know, Mark, it's a big part of my background too. So, but in the meanwhile, I'm fascinated by the way you were raised in your childhood. Can you share a little bit about that? Are you open to that? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I had great parents. They were just bad at a lot of stuff. And so they loved me very much. I won't talk bad about them, but they were terrible at finances, and there were some serious medical issues. And so I was raised in a house. We didn't have a shower in my house till I was 12 years old. We bathed in the kitchen sink. That's where so a lot like Ben and I relate a lot on how we grew up. We all lived in one room, no heat. We had one little blower heat thing and then a wood stove, but just all kind of in one room. I didn't live in a finished home until I bought my first home. And so I lived in an unfinished home my whole life. I never slept in like a heated, insulated, finished house. And it was also not just unfinished and nasty. It was in a rough part of town. So my dad and grandfather were both realtors. My grandfather was very successful at real estate, but died before I was born. And then he was a builder as well. And then my dad sold his homes. But then after that, he just kind of he sold real estate forever. But if you're not selling houses, there's no income. And that's kind of where he was. And so we were super, super poor growing up. I was not going to go into real estate. I thought all realtors were probably enjoying that up and down of life or solid downs. And I just didn't see it as something I wanted to live through. And I actually took a clock hours or the real estate class at Pierce College when I was 18. And I'm honest when I say there was 30 people in the room. I had no desire to be a real estate agent. I took it as a business elective. And the questions that I heard in that class were so ridiculous, I thought I could get rich in real estate. That's what I tried to do. So it's just, I just felt like if that was my competition, it was going to be easy because it wasn't overly impressive.
Well, that's interesting. I think the other thing that's interesting about your childhood, and we've talked about this before, but is that you and your siblings are extremely successful. I'm fascinated by that. I
suppose,
right?
Yeah. No, there's three of us. I'm the youngest by far. My sister is 16 years older than I am. My brother is 13 years older than I am. My sister got her first veterinary doctorate, when I was in 4th grade. So that's our age difference.
Wow.
And then she has 3 doctorates. She's a veterinary orthopedic surgeon and a veterinary dental surgeon. And then my brother owns collision centers and does very, very well. I'm the least successful Johnson kin, but we've had a pretty good run.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by this. I had my son on earlier, and I've been thinking a lot about, how I can't replicate hardship for my kids, right?
Right.
I mean, I want to come back and be reincarnated as my kids. It's a great life. And,
Absolutely.
And so part of this book group, Mark, and, I thought about people like you and Ben and a lot of people in my lives who I look up to. I thought about you guys because I thought, well, I have to somehow create challenge where it doesn't exist, right? Aiden's not bathing in the sink, right? He's got a nice shower to bathe in. And, like Ben Kinney, and actually, frankly, like my mom didn't have running water in her house either. She had to go to an outhouse growing up. So I can't replicate that. So I've been kind of thinking, this is a big topic for me. So thanks for answering that so that everyone can kind of hear that.
Yeah.
So why is it that you think you're so successful from all that?
Well, I don't know how successful I am. Thank you. But I think that I had amazing examples in my brother and sister. They kind of, there was no doubt that I could be. I knew that through what they'd accomplished, that they had it a lot harder than I did, in my opinion, in the sense that they didn't have an example to look up to. I had them, and if they could do what they did, I could certainly do something. And so it was, and my brother's my hero. He is my moral compass. He's the most important person in my life, other than the people that live in this house right here. But he and I are best friends. We're 13 years apart. We have partnerships on rentals, things like that. But we're I never wanted to disappoint him. That was probably the biggest. He's kind of a prude in a good way, and I never wanted to do anything to disappoint him, and I wanted to always impress him, and that was very helpful. Also, we have a term in our family called anti-parenting. Don't tell my mom this because she's still alive, but if a decision's to be made, you almost think about how would our parents have made the decision, and then just go the opposite way and it works out. And so we anti-parent on these decisions. I can be kind of an OCD freak who wasn't exactly a clean existence growing up, and so it's anti-parenting has done us well. But we all just we just didn't want to live like that, and we all decided at 18 it was our life to take control of, and so we did. Yeah,
it's awesome watching Ben, talking to both of you, and I know you guys are close too. It's really inspiring, to me. I think what's interesting with you and Ben is that you both did the anti thing, right?
Yeah.
Where so many people can grow up in those environments and go one way. You guys chose because of how you grew up, you have OCD and you're spotlessly clean. And so is Ben. And me, I grew up my mom cleaned my room, my house was spotless. I'm a mess. I'm a total mess. So it's interesting to me.
Oh, I think it's every other generation, because my daughter is certainly taking up the mantle for the messiness.
Yeah,
she's a dirty one.
She might be my secret daughter. All right. Anyway, let's move into new construction. How is new construction doing, first of all, right now?
It's really good. The only thing I think really holding it back is, there's two things. Builders are obviously being cautious with their money. Their memories are not that long from 10 years ago. And so they have that in their head. They're being cautious. They're being careful. They're being hopeful that maybe there's going to be some deals that come. I don't think that's the case. I don't think we're going to see deals. The other big thing that's holding us back right now is we can't get new permits. And so even though they tell us that we are released for new construction, we aren't. We're building the houses that we had started, but we can't get new permits to go and do things. And so that's going to affect things until we're in phase 2, and then we'll be able to get some permits. We have one county we're building in, Kitsap, that's in phase 2 now, and we can go get permits there.
Oh, are they? I didn't know they were already in phase 2. Yeah, for sure. And it also slowed things down. So anyone with a pre-sales slowed down, 60 days odd, depending on where they were on it. So yeah. What is that the biggest challenge, or is there any other, if I was going to ask you what the biggest challenge was in new build world and new construction world, would that be it, or would there be another one?
No, the biggest challenge, period, is that these national builders are here now, and that's not who I represent. They don't hire regular real estate agents to list their projects. It's amazing the flip that we have in the industry. And if you go back to 04, 03, probably 03, the biggest guy in town was Quadrant, and they were regional at best. Yeah. And then D.R. Horton purchased Stafford to come into our community. And so D.R. Horton was like, I think, second in the world or in the country for new construction. And they bought Stafford, who was 8th, and they became far and away the number 1 builder in America and probably the world with, 50,000 homes a year. Versus I work with builders that do 20 to 80 homes a year. And so they've really changed our world because they weren't here. And so we don't get invited into plats the way we used to. It used to be that there'd be a 100-lot plat. 3 builders would get a call, and they'd say, if you buy 10 lots, we'll reserve 20 more for you, and you take them down like that. And now Horton just comes in and buys all of them in one swoop. And so builders have had to become land developers if they want to keep product in front of them. And that's the biggest change, is that we're having to develop land to have inventory in front of us.
That's correct. You're absolutely right. I agree with that. So with COVID, what direct effect has COVID had on new construction sales?
Hands down, the biggest is open houses. Open houses are probably the best tool for selling new construction. And it's one of the reasons the numbers are so far down on the nationals, because they fully rely on open houses as or at least sitting site as their avenue for selling houses. That's probably 8 out of 10 houses coming through the site, and that's shut down. And we can't do open houses, and it's a misdemeanor to do an open house right now. So that's a big deal.
I'm hearing things on a national basis anyway of keyless entries where the builders are starting to let people in. Have you been hearing about this without an agent, where they, almost, I don't know if it's like a ring system or I don't know what it is, but I'm hearing different. Have you been hearing any of that here in Washington State?
Yeah, well, I haven't heard anybody doing here, but I've read about that happening, and I've used it. We went and visited out in Nashville, and there was some use of that out there. But no, I think the agent's a big part of the house selling, and a keyless doorknob doesn't do that. And so, especially with representing local builders, I need to communicate to that buyer and that other agent the difference in finished product and what we're putting into these houses and what it is. And so we have to be there to communicate that. And so we need to be open bad.
I wonder though, if there's a future where you're in their ear, like one of these, where you're in their ear and they have, I'm making this up because I don't know, but they have glasses on where you can see where they're looking, and you are maybe virtually walking them through it all. I wonder if there's a time where that could happen. Oh,
I'm sure that's where it's going. I would hate that, but yeah, I'm sure that's where it's going.
So would I, but interesting. So you guys are, you're able to show with one person at the home at a time for someone that, that's ready to buy. What else are you guys doing? Any virtual open houses or anything like that?
Well, we've videotaped and done amazing photography, but that's a norm for us. That's an expected item in our houses. We've done a couple Matterports. I don't know how much you'll spend the time in Matterports. We're doing it to make people happy, but I don't know how much time people spend in those. We're doing toppers on our A-boards that say, for a showing right now, text this number, and we're just trying to stay close, and we'll get over there quick if that's what we need to do. And so we're just we're putting out A-boards at some of the plats now, but the toppers say, call us for a private tour. We're also doing mailings, inviting people to private open houses where we'll take them through. We'll have lattes ready for them when they get there, and just mailings to invite them to come in and have their own personal open house.
That makes you want to just come. I just want to go hang out with you and have a latte and look at nice houses. Let's do it. You spend more time with Derek, but my nephew. Oh, I
Derek.
like Derek.
Yeah, he's much more handsome than me, so it's good.
Derek, your nephew Derek, who you work with, is a professional soccer player, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
No, I've watched probably 80% of the games that kid's played since he was 3 years old, and so it's pretty fun. He plays for the Tacoma Stars.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
we're proud. And sells a whole lot of houses.
We're proud of the Tacoma Stars. Go Derek, go Stars.
Yes,
all right.
Yes.
Well, that's awesome. So, we have an audience question. If an agent finds property for you to build on, will you agree to letting said agent list the home? She said.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I will pay you a referral fee. I'll pay you full commission. One of the things on land is, and there are people that I partner with all the time, but the builder's got to buy into the fact that new construction. You have to have a resume. I can't just put people out there that haven't done new construction. New construction and resale are very different animals. One is a marketing job and one is a sales job, and so we won't. So if I know the agent, there are people that I've partnered with. Tyler Edwards, I partner with a lot. I've done a lot with the Shooks out of our office. Kind of when I've had overflow, I brought them communities to help me manage, and we've done a couple of those together. Just because I don't want a big team anymore. That's not my thing. And so I'll bring agents in like that to help. But if you bring me land, one of the things, I never want any money on the land. You can make the full 6% commission, and you get paid right up front. I probably won't see a paycheck for 1 to 4 years on that land.
Yeah. So thanks for coming on. I should have told everybody early on, hey, you guys, guess what? I'm going to be on KW Connect in 9 minutes. I should have told you all that. So I'm going to be live on, it's KW Connect for anyone who's Keller Williams. If you're not Keller Williams, hop over to the Pivot Shift Ahead page, and they're going to air it live, Facebook Live it on that. But I got to hop off, Mark, because I got to go be on with Monica Reynolds and Wendy Papazan and Sarah Reynolds and too many Reynolds, Sarah Reynolds and Seychelle Van Pool. So I have to hop over there. But thank you for coming on. I just love having you in our offices. You are really, can I say this live on the air? You're one of my favorites. I said it. There you go. You're one of my favorites. I really enjoy hanging out with you, and we appreciate your wisdom. So thanks for being on today.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
All right, guys. See you next Wednesday. I have a huge treat for you. Wendy Papazan, one-on-one interview. I'm going to do Vopra style. You don't want to miss it. Okay. So next week, Wendy Papazan, noon o'clock Pacific time, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. All right, guys. Talk to you later.